Cuts of meat. It's a huge topic and quite a daunting one as well. Okay, you go to the supermarket or the butcher, you look at all this meat that's laid out in front of you and you think, if I buy that, how am I going to prepare it? Or you might think, oh, this is really cheap, it's probably not very good. But this isn't actually the case. Okay, so before we gain a lot of experience with cooking, it's easy to assume that the most expensive piece of meat is better. And the cheaper cuts aren't really worth buying. But price is simply dictated by supply and demand. Okay, let me put it like this: expensive cuts tend to be faster to cook and require less skill to cook. Okay, so they're more desirable to cook with. In some cases, for example, fillet of beef, it's a desirable cut, but there isn't much on each animal. Okay, so for every 6 or 7 kilos of beef fillet the farmer and the butcher get from the carcass, there's another 500 kilos of meat that needs using before they can cut up the next animal and get the next 6 or 7 kilos. So the simplest way to look at meat is to break it down into 2 different categories, and I'm going to keep referring to these over and over and over again during the course. Okay, tough cuts and tender cuts. Okay, tough cuts from the part of the animal that's done a lot of work. Okay, they're heavy lifting essentially. So if you consider a 4-legged animal like a cow or a pig or sheep, anything that comes from the shoulder, okay, especially right up in the neck, has a really strong muscle structure. Okay, and that will be very tough meat. Also parts of the back leg as well, like shank, but the main muscles on the top of the leg, like rump, aren't quite as tough as this front end piece. Okay, then there's tender cuts, and these come from the muscles and usually in the middle of the animal. Okay, the midsection that doesn't do much work. It tends to get carried around all day by the animal, and they don't actually have a huge amount of work to do. Okay, so those are the tender cuts. It's the same with birds. Okay, I think the tender cuts on the birds are things like the breasts or anything from the kind of middle section of the carcass. Whereas the legs are the tough cuts because they spend the whole day holding the carcass up or holding the bird up, and the wings are tougher again than the legs. Okay, because they actually have to keep the bloody thing in the sky. Okay, so this has a big impact on how we cook each cut. Okay, so tough cuts are going to need a very long, slow cooking process, absolute maximum of about 150 degrees for quite a long time, until the point when they're tender and they're falling to pieces. Okay, we know a tough cut is ready because we open it up and it's kind of falling apart. Okay, it should literally look like it's about to disintegrate. Okay, and cuts like lamb shank and confit of duck, you really should be almost panicking that you're trying to lift them out and the bones are just going to fall out. Okay, so if it's not looking like that, then leave it for another half an hour. Okay, it doesn't matter if the recipe says 4 hours. If it's not ready, then keep cooking it until it is. Okay, that's a really important point to grasp. Now, if you organize your cooking day properly and allow for that longer cooking time, you've learned how to cook the cheaper cuts properly. It not only saves you a fortune on your food costs, but you get a hell of a lot of extra flavor for free. Okay, the golden ticket of slow cooking cuts like pork belly, beef cheeks, lamb shanks, etc. is that you simply reduce the cooking liquor down and you get the kind of belting sauce for free that you just don't get from a fast cooking cut like a steak or a duck breast. Okay, for those cuts you have the hassle of making a stock and a sauce separately from bones. Okay, so tough or slow cooking cuts are always going to be cooked to the well done point. Okay, tender cuts on the other hand, or fast cooking cuts, can be fried or roasted at a higher temperature for less time. Okay, and we cook them to the degree of doneness that's perfect for our guests. Okay, so things like fillet or ribeye or sirloin of beef or lamb or veal, the racks, pork strip loins or tenderloin, etc. We're looking to cook them just until the ideal doneness, okay, on the inside. Now it's worth pointing out that this varies depending on the type of meat. Okay, so and everyone has their own kind of preference a little bit too. And in my opinion, which tends to be the average opinion, a fast cooking cut of beef is best rare to medium rare, okay? Whereas a duck breast or a piece of lamb that's too rare will be really chewy and not so good. So it's actually best if it's getting on between medium rare and medium. Okay, still nice and pink, but not raw and chewy. Okay, chicken and pork obviously needs to be cooked right through, but you have to be so careful not to dry it out, because it can only take 30 or 40 seconds to go from not quite cooked to really overcooked and dry. Okay, you really need to cook it just to the point where it's just on the limit of not quite being cooked, and then let it rest over the line. Okay, that's really important. Now, I say this a lot in the kitchen because neglecting to allow for the delicate piece of meat or fish to just kind of carry on a bit in the pan while it's resting is another one of those small details that separates cooks that send out nice food and cooks that really nail it and get the big bucks faster, you know. So tough cuts are slow cooking cuts, tender cuts are fast cooking cuts, and that's really all you need to know.